Got old crayons lying around? Today I'm turning them into 3 fun and festive DIYs perfect for the holidays. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is day 8 out of my 12 Days of Craftmas series. Today's theme is all about upcycling old crayons into festive holiday crafts. I'll show you 3 easy and fun projects: Christmas coloring cards, melting crayons into fun molds, and crayon ornaments for your Christmas tree. As always, I've linked all the supplies in the description down below. So grab what you need and let's get crafting. For the first DIY, which is the Christmas coloring cards, I'm going to show you 2 ways to make them. One with a Cricut and one without a Cricut. For the Cricut method, this is what you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need a Cricut machine, a cutting mat, a printer, cardstock, and crayons. I would recommend having new crayons for this, as you're most likely going to be giving this away to a child, but that is optional. Another optional thing that you can have as well is having a 5x7 plastic bag. I have these ones with like an adhesive backing on them, and this just kind of gives it a little professional touch. First, click the link in the description down below to get access to my design in Cricut Design Space. Print the design onto cardstock and place it on your Cricut cutting mat. Load the mat into your Cricut, set the correct cardstock weight, and let the Cricut do its magic. Once it's cut, carefully remove your design and pick out your crayons. I like to match it with the theme, so if you are doing a snowman, you might do black for the hat and orange for the nose. Insert the crayons into the pre-cut slots, and for a polished touch, slide the card into a 5x7 plastic bag. And just like that, you have a professional looking Christmas crayon card. Now, if you don't have a Cricut, here's what you're gonna need for supplies. You are going to need cardstock, crayons. I would recommend having new ones and not old ones, as you will most likely be giving this away to a child. Scissors. I personally like to use the ones with like the fun edging. An Exacto blade and cutting board. Some sort of hole punch. I will be using a leather punch. And something completely optional, but I would recommend getting these 5x7 plastic bags that have an adhesive backing. This just kind of makes it look a little better when you're giving this away. Download the design from the description, print it onto cardstock, and then cut around the whole design with scissors. Use an Exacto knife to cut the slots for the crayons. For the holes, I would recommend getting some kind of hole punch or a leather punch. I happen to have a leather punch on hand, so I use that to make the hole. Insert your crayon, and just like the Cricut version, pop the card into a 5x7 plastic bag for a clean finished look. This next DIY is perfect for creating personalized gifts or holiday shapes from old crayons. Here's what you're gonna need. You are going to need crayons. These can be new or old. Silicone molds. The mold I am going to be using today I got from Michael's. Some sort of baking sheet and an oven. Start by peeling the wrappers off your crayons and breaking them into small pieces. You can use a knife to score them if they're tough to peel. Place the crayons into each mold. Pro tip: mix colors for a fun marble effect. Pop the mold onto a baking tray and melt the crayons in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I thought this was going to take about 15 minutes. It turned out that it took about 30 minutes, so make sure that you're checking up on them periodically to make sure that they're melting all the way. Once melted, let them cool completely before popping them out of the mold. And look at these. These are so cute. These Christmas shaped ones are going to make adorable stocking stuffers. And look how they color. I'm a huge fan of this Christmas tree one, and they look great. And finally, for our last DIY, let's turn crayons into a vibrant one-of-a-kind ornament. Here's what you're gonna need. You are going to need clear glass ornaments, crayons, heat-resistant gloves, a blow dryer or a heat gun. I will be using a heat gun for this DIY, but just note that a blow dryer might take a little bit more time. Start with your ornaments and take off the tops. Break the crayons into tiny pieces so they can fit inside the ornament. Place a couple crayons inside, then use a hair dryer or heat gun to melt the crayons. Swirl the ornament gently as they melt to create a colorful marbled effect. Once the crayons have melted and cooled, pop the top back on and it's ready to hang. These ornaments are so unique and so vibrant. Here are all 3 crayon DIYs: the Christmas cards, crayon molds, and stunning ornaments. These are such creative ways to upcycle crayons and add a personal touch to your holiday crafting. And that's a wrap for day 8 out of my 12 Days of Craftmas series. I hope these crayon DIYs inspire you to get creative this holiday season. If you try any of these projects, let me know in the description down below. I would love to know how this turned out for you. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the rest of the series. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys here tomorrow for day 9, and as always, adios!